So for those who may have tried to tune in, I apologize. There were some technical difficulties on my end, but hopefully I should not be going back out or have to restart the video. So I do apologize about that. But again, welcome to those that are tuning in and watching. This is Live with the Hive, and I am your host, Ashley Thomas. Live with the Hive is a online broadcast with the intent and purpose to engage, inform, and educate the online community on topics directly and indirectly related to sexual assault and intimate partner violence. And I saw today's topic very necessary to discuss and talk about, given all of the allegations, that have continued to come forward, as well as cases where settlements had taken place regarding cases of sexual harassment. And so because oftentimes as a society, as a community, we can desensitize sexual harassment with all of the high profile cases that continue to make the headline news. And so I saw it very important to make sure that the day-to-day individuals who are experiencing sexual harassment or have experienced sexual harassment are not forgotten about. Because, we don't think about the individual that we could be sharing a workspace with, or that works at your child's school, or that you attend church with, or they live next door to you. Those individuals very well could be experiencing sexual harassment. And so on today, I will be talking about what to do if sexual harassment has happened to you. Thank you. Hi, Henrietta, for tuning in and watching. And so the first thing I want to say is that sexual harassment, according to the EEOC office, which is the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, sexual harassment falls within an act of sexual discrimination. And that it violates Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. And this applies to any employer that has, at minimum, 15 employees or more. And so any employer that has 15 or more employees is held liable by this act. Okay, and so when it applies to labor organizations, state, local, and federal entities. As I discuss some of the different steps that you can take, or different forms of sexual harassment as well, I won't go through each one, but I will provide at the end the website that you can go to for more information and how to follow up. So sexual harassment is any form of unwanted sexual advancements. This could be verbal, it could be physical in nature. So examples of those is that someone could request for sexual favors, and oftentimes that can be someone that's in a position of power, or that has some form of control over your career. They could also be sexual jokes. They could ask you about sexual experiences that you have had, and they could also, an example might be they make inappropriate comments about your body in a sexual way. Okay, so again, these are just some examples. And when this takes place and it explicitly or implicitly affects an individual's ability to do their job, so the environment becomes hostile, it becomes, an offensive work environment, or intimidating, it is then considered unlawful. And so, in the event, let's say that this has happened to someone or you yourself could be experiencing, what are the appropriate steps of action for you to take? And so for some individuals, they may feel comfortable with approaching their harasser. And if you do feel approaching, or you've already made a statement to them regarding the behavior, then you want to make sure that you put that in writing. If you do not or have not, approached this individual and you do not feel comfortable doing that, it's very important then that you investigate what your agency's sexual harassment policy is. Do they have a grievance process in place? Or apologize about that. Do they have an administrative process in place? Those are things that you would want to make sure that you research because the policy, it should already be made known to you as an employee. That's just a rule of thumb. That's something that should be made known. So if you felt comfortable with, again, approaching the individual, but if you can, but if you don't, research what the policy is within your agency. Who is it that you need to speak with? Someone within HR, or is there another EEO office within the HR department or within your agency? Okay, and so once you identify that individual, you will file a claim with them. Once that claim has been filed, your employer becomes liable. Okay, so by law, I want to make sure I read this specifically as it states on the website. But once you have informed and you have filed a complaint with your employer, they must make a lawful attempt to solve the problem. If they do not, they will be held accountable. And so again, if you have experienced sexual harassment, or you know someone that has, it's very important for you to encourage them to inform the employer, because this is the only way they can be held liable, as well as, of course, the individual that is the harasser. Okay. If your agency does not have a sexual harassment policy in place and there is no one for you to talk to, or let's say that person is higher up in management and you don't feel comfortable with filing a claim within your agency, within the state of South Carolina, you can contact the South Carolina Human Affairs Commission. You can also contact the South Carolina Victims Assistance Network that has legal advocates. And then there are also local sexual trauma service agencies that have either victims advocates or legal advocates who also can support you. So, for example, here in the Midlands, there's Sexual Trauma Services of the Midlands who provides legal advocates. And so you can reach out to them. And if you're someone watching and you don't live in the state of South Carolina, then you can go. I'll share the website at the end, but I'll go ahead and share it now, actually. But that website is RAINN.org. It's RAINN.org. You can go to this website to identify the local sexual trauma agency within your area. You can also on their website find out what the sexual harassment policies are, or the law is in your state. Okay, so you can go to this website and get that information, as well as speaking to someone. So you may not be comfortable or in a place where you want to see someone directly. You can speak with them over the phone at RAINN. You can also go online and chat directly with them as well. I also wanted to share that that minor sexual harassment can take place in the workplace as well. And in the event that that happens, you actually can go to the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission website to get more information about how to file a complaint regarding minor workplace sexual harassment. The EEOC website is just www.eeoc.gov, and then within that there's a page that is Youth at Work. So that is the page that you would want to search for to get information in regards to a minor who may be experiencing workplace sexual harassment. Also, to note with workplace sexual harassment, it doesn't necessarily have to happen in the workplace. It could have happened at happy hour with your colleagues. It can happen in the hallway, and the individual does not have to be your supervisor. It could be a supervisor in a different department. It could be someone who does not work for your agency, but has been into your agency as well. And so they could be not connected, you know, to the agency at all in that way, or to your department specifically. But that and that individual can also be someone of the opposite identifying gender or the same identifying gender that harasses you. So I also wanted to make sure that I shared those points. But again, for more information on workplace sexual harassment and the steps for you to take, you can again visit www.eeoc.gov. There's rain.org, which is RAIN.org. Okay, and then if you have any questions or any comments or anything that you would like to ask, feel free to inbox me. I will go live next Thursday if there are any comments or any questions that you would like to share with those that are watching, or that you would like me to respond to and answer. I will be back December 14th if I don't come back on next Thursday live, and I highly encourage everyone to tune in, as I will be discussing why the story of Shantanya Brown is so important. Shantanya Brown is a young lady who was convicted at the age of 16 and tried as an adult. She is serving right now a life sentence for killing her buyer. She was sold into prostitution. And so her story is, a lot of celebrities right now are talking about her situation and what's going on with her, but that's been overshadowed by everything else that is happening. And so I want to make sure that you know and you are informed about this young lady's case, as well as about human trafficking. So again, tune in with me next Thursday as I discuss any topic, any questions or comments that come forward, as well as tuning in on December 14th. Thank you all again for watching. Have a great and wonderful day. God bless.